gasps, then utter chaos. Silence. Heavy, expectant silence blanketed the congregation. The air was thick with anticipation, every breath held, every eye wide with a mixture of fear and curiosity. Sunlight, fractured by stained glass, painted the scene in a kaleidoscope of colors, a stark contrast to the somber mood. The vibrant hues seemed almost mocking, a cruel juxtaposition to the tension that gripped every soul present. Archbishop Martin John Mupopo, his face etched with a solemn resolve, stood at the pulpit. His eyes, usually filled with a serene confidence, now bore the weight of an unspoken burden. His fingers, usually dancing across the scriptures, gripped the edges of the podium, white-knuckled. The veins on his hands stood out, a testament to the inner turmoil he was battling. This was not going to be an ordinary sermon. The congregation could sense it. The air was electric with the unspoken understanding that something monumental was about to unfold. A collective gasp rippled through the church as the Archbishop spoke, his voice, usually booming with the word of God, a mere tremor. It was as if the very walls of the church were holding their breath, waiting for the revelation. Every eye in the church was fixed on him, their beloved shepherd, their guide, their rock. The man who had been their spiritual anchor was now standing before them, visibly shaken. What they heard next would shake the very foundation of their faith. The words hung in the air, heavy and foreboding, as if the very fabric of their reality was about to be torn apart. "My brothers, my sisters," he began, his voice thick with emotion. The words seemed to struggle to leave his lips, each one a painful admission. "My journey of faith has led me to a new path." Chaos erupted. The congregation, unable to contain their shock, erupted into a cacophony of voices, each one a testament to their disbelief. The silence shattered into 1,000 pieces of whispers, gasps, and murmurs. The once unified congregation was now a sea of fragmented voices, each one grappling with the bombshell that had just been dropped. People leapt to their feet, faces contorted in disbelief, anger, and betrayal. This was not happening. It couldn't be happening. The man they had trusted with their souls was now standing before them, a stranger. The Archbishop, their Archbishop, was leaving the faith. The question echoed in their minds, a relentless drumbeat of confusion and hurt. The man who baptized their children, married their youth, laid their loved ones to rest, was now abandoning everything they held dear. The sense of betrayal was palpable, a tangible force that seemed to suck the very air out of the room. His words, barely audible above the rising storm of confusion and outrage, echoed through the hallowed halls. "I have found solace in the arms of Allah." The declaration hung in the air, a stark contrast to the chaos it had unleashed. "I am now a servant of Islam." The finality of his words settled over the congregation like a shroud, marking the end of an era and the beginning of an uncertain future. Born into a deeply religious family, Martin's life was steeped in faith from his earliest memories. His parents, devout and unwavering in their beliefs, instilled in him the values of love, compassion, and service to others. Every morning began with a prayer, and every evening ended with a hymn. The Bible was not just a book, but a guide, a source of wisdom and comfort. He spent his childhood in a small village, nestled amidst rolling hills and whispering grasslands, where life was simple and faith was the bedrock of their existence. The village, with its cobblestone paths and quaint cottages, seemed like a place out of time, untouched by the rush of the modern world. Here the community was close-knit, and everyone knew each other by name. The children played freely in the fields, their laughter echoing through the valleys, while the adults worked hard, their lives intertwined with the rhythms of nature and the seasons. His world was filled with the gentle rhythm of prayer, the comforting aroma of incense, and the resounding echoes of hymns. The church stood at the heart of the village, a sanctuary of peace and reflection. Every Sunday the villagers gathered there, their voices rising in unison, singing praises and seeking solace. The choir, with its harmonious melodies, brought a sense of unity and purpose, reminding everyone of their shared faith and commitment. Even as a young boy, Martin possessed an unmistakable aura. He was different. While other children were carefree and playful, Martin often found himself lost in thought, contemplating the deeper meanings of life and faith. His eyes, wise beyond his years, reflected a soul that was deeply connected to something greater. He carried himself with a quiet dignity, an innate wisdom that belied his tender years. His demeanor was calm and composed, a stark contrast to the exuberance of his peers. Whether he was walking through the village or reading a book, there was a sense of purpose and determination in his every action. His heart resonated with a profound love for God, a yearning to serve, to guide, to heal. He spent hours in the church, praying alone, seeking guidance and strength. His prayers were not just for himself, but for the well-being of his family, his friends, and his entire community. His gentle smile and kind words brought comfort to those in need, and his actions spoke volumes about his character. He was drawn to the scriptures, spending countless hours poring over their verses, absorbing their wisdom. The Bible became his closest companion, its teachings shaping his thoughts and actions. He found solace in its pages, and its stories of faith, courage, and redemption inspired him to live a life of purpose and integrity. His devotion was evident to everyone. The villagers watched him with admiration, recognizing the depth of his faith and the purity of his intentions. He was a beacon of hope, a reminder of the power of belief and the importance of living a life of service. He was the boy who would always be at the church, helping the elderly, guiding the younger children. His presence brought a sense of calm and reassurance. He assisted the elderly with their daily tasks, listened to their stories, and offered them comfort. With the younger children, he was patient and kind, teaching them the values of love, respect, and faith. His heart was as open as the sky, his compassion as boundless as the ocean. He embraced everyone with open arms, offering support and understanding. When someone was in pain or distress, he was there to comfort them, his words and actions providing a sense of hope and healing. He was a natural leader, a young shepherd tending to his flock, his heart overflowing with love and devotion. He led by example, his actions reflecting his deep commitment to his faith and his community. The children looked up to him, the adults respected him, and everyone saw in him the qualities of a true leader. The villagers saw in him a future leader of their church, a beacon of hope and faith. They believed that he was destined for greatness, that he would one day guide them with wisdom and compassion. Their faith in him was unwavering, and they supported him in every way they could. And Martin, with his unwavering belief and a heart dedicated to God, seemed destined to fulfill that prophecy. His dedication was evident in everything he did, from his prayers to his acts of kindness. He was committed to his faith and his community, and he worked tirelessly to make a positive impact on the lives of those around him. Little did they know, life had other plans, a journey far more complex and challenging than anyone could have foreseen. As Martin grew older, he would face trials and tribulations that would test his faith and his resolve, but through it all he would remain steadfast, guided by the principles and values that had been instilled in him from a young age. His journey was just beginning, and it would be one of growth, discovery, and unwavering faith. Martin's journey within the church was nothing short of meteoric. He excelled in his studies, his thirst for theological knowledge insatiable and ever-growing. He devoured ancient texts, debated scriptures with a fervor that belied his quiet demeanor, and soon his wisdom and insight began to surpass even his most seasoned mentors. He was ordained as a priest at an unusually young age, a testament to his unwavering commitment and inherent leadership qualities. His sermons were legendary. He spoke with a simplicity that resonated with the common man. His words laced with compassion, understanding, and an unwavering belief in the power of God. People flocked from far and wide to hear him preach, drawn by his magnetic presence. His rise through the ranks was swift, each step marked by his unwavering dedication and genuine love for his congregation. His appointment as Archbishop was met with universal approval and widespread joy. He had become a symbol of hope, a pillar of faith, a testament to the power of unwavering belief. He was their shepherd, guiding his flock towards the light of God with unwavering dedication. Yet beneath the surface of this seemingly idyllic existence, a storm was brewing, a storm that would shake the very foundations of his beliefs and set him on a path that no one, least of all Martin himself, could have predicted. The seeds of doubt, like insidious weeds, began to sprout in the fertile garden of Martin's faith. They were small at first, almost unnoticeable, but they took root deep within his soul. It wasn't a dramatic shift, no earth-shattering revelation or crisis of faith. Rather, it was a gradual erosion, like a river slowly wearing away the banks that contain it. It started subtly, almost imperceptibly. A question here, a doubt there, each one adding to the growing sense of unease that Martin couldn't quite shake off. The endless cycle of suffering he witnessed as a shepherd to his flock, the unanswered prayers, the cries for help that seemed to go unheard, the inexplicable tragedies that befell even the most devout began to gnaw at the edges of his belief. He saw good people suffer, and he couldn't understand why. These experiences began to create cracks in the foundation of his faith, cracks that widened with each new tragedy. Late nights were spent in solitude, wrestling with complex theological questions. He pored over ancient texts, seeking answers that seemed just out of reach. He sought wisdom from the great theologians, hoping their insights would provide clarity. But the more he read, the more questions arose. The more he delved into the scriptures, the more he found interpretations that differed from the rigid doctrines he had come to accept as absolute truths. Each new interpretation was like a new seed of doubt. He began to see the Bible not as a single, unchanging document, but as a collection of writings, each with its own context and perspective. This realization was both enlightening and unsettling. The world, he realized, was a tapestry woven from countless threads of faith, each one valid, each one a path to the divine. He saw beauty in the diversity of belief. Each religion offered a unique perspective, a different way of understanding the divine. This diversity was a source of wonder for Martin, but also a source of confusion. He found himself drawn to other religions, not with a sense of judgment or disdain, but with a thirst for knowledge, a yearning to understand the diverse ways in which humanity connected with the divine. He studied Buddhism, Hinduism, Judaism, and other faiths, each one offering a unique perspective, a different lens through which to view the world and its creator. He immersed himself in their teachings, finding both similarities and differences that enriched his understanding of spirituality. He found solace in the meditative practices of Buddhism, the rich rituals of Hinduism, and the deep traditions of Judaism. Each faith had its own wisdom to offer, each one offering a unique perspective, a different lens through which to view the world and its creator. This broadened his horizons, but also deepened his internal conflict. He began to see the world as a mosaic of beliefs, each piece contributing to the whole. This realization was both beautiful and daunting. His journey, however, was a solitary one. He walked this path alone, unable to share his doubts and discoveries with those around him. He couldn't confide in his colleagues. Their faith, rooted in centuries of tradition, they would not understand his quest for answers outside the accepted doctrines. Their faith was unwavering, built on a foundation of centuries-old traditions and teachings. To question that would be seen as heresy. He couldn't burden his congregation. Their love and respect for him absolute. They looked to him for guidance, not for questions. Their faith in him was unwavering, and he couldn't bear to shatter that trust. They saw him as a pillar of strength, not as someone grappling with his own doubts. So he grappled with his doubts in silence. His heart a battleground of conflicting emotions, his mind a tempest of questions with no easy answers. He felt isolated, yet he knew this was a journey he had to undertake alone. His heart a battleground of conflicting emotions, his mind a tempest of questions with no easy answers. The storm within him raged on, with no sign of abating. His mind a tempest of questions with no easy answers. He continued to search, hoping that one day he would find the peace. Martin John Mupopo was a respected man. He was a leader in his community. As an archbishop, he held a position of great power. People looked up to him. They trusted his judgment. His life was dedicated to his faith. He believed he was guiding his flock towards the light. Martin was a scholar. He spent years studying the scriptures. He preached with passion and conviction. He believed in the words he spoke. He lived a life of service, always ready to help those in need. He was a shepherd to his congregation. He felt a deep responsibility for their spiritual well-being. Despite his outward success, Martin felt a growing unease. He questioned aspects of his faith. He found himself grappling with inconsistencies. He searched for answers, but they eluded him. His heart yearned for a deeper understanding. He longed for a faith that resonated with his soul. His journey was not unique. Many before him had grappled with their faith. They sought truth in the face of uncertainty. Martin's story reminds us that faith is a journey, not a destination. It is a path filled with questions, doubts, and ultimately the courage to seek answers. Martin's doubts grew stronger. He saw contradictions within the church. He questioned the lavish lifestyle of some priests. He saw poverty and suffering ignored. His heart ached for the less fortunate. He felt a disconnect between the church's teachings and its actions. He began to study other religions. He read about Islam and its teachings. He was drawn to its simplicity and emphasis on social justice. He learned about the Prophet Muhammad and his message of peace. He found himself resonating with the Islamic concept of one God. Martin felt a connection to Islam. It filled the void within him. He saw beauty in its teachings. He found answers to his questions. He realized that true faith was about personal conviction, not blind adherence. He decided to embark on a new path, a path that led him to Islam. This decision was not easy. He knew it would have consequences. He would face opposition and rejection. But Martin was not afraid. He was a man of conviction. He was ready to embrace the truth no matter the cost. Martin embraced Islam with open arms. He found peace in its teachings. He felt a sense of belonging he had never experienced. He learned about the 5 pillars of Islam. He began to pray 5 times a day. He found solace in the rhythm of prayer. He studied the Quran diligently. He found wisdom in its verses. He connected with its message of compassion and forgiveness. He learned about the importance of charity and helping those in need. He felt a renewed sense of purpose in life. His conversion was a deeply personal experience. It was a testament to his courage and his unwavering pursuit of truth. He knew he was on the right path. He felt a sense of contentment he had never known. He was finally home. Martin's story highlights the universal appeal of Islam. It transcends cultural and social barriers. It speaks to the human desire for meaning and purpose. It offers a path to spiritual enlightenment and inner peace. Martin's conversion was met with mixed reactions. Some admired his courage, others felt betrayed. He faced rejection from those he once considered close. He lost friends and allies. His family turned their backs on him. He was ostracized by his community. He was stripped of his position in the church. He lost his status and influence. He faced accusations of blasphemy. Some threatened him with violence. He was labeled a traitor to his faith. He became an outcast in his own society. Despite the hardships, Martin remained steadfast. He refused to be silenced. He knew the truth and held on to it firmly. He faced the storm with dignity and grace. He responded to hate with love and understanding. His experience is a harsh reminder of the challenges faced by converts. It highlights the need for tolerance and acceptance. It underscores the importance of respecting individual choices, even when they differ from our own. Section 5. A community embraces finding brotherhood in Islam. Despite the rejection, Martin found solace in the Muslim community. They welcomed him with open arms. They embraced him as a brother. They offered him support and guidance. He found comfort in their shared faith. He was no longer alone. He learned about Islamic traditions and practices. He participated in communal prayers. He felt a sense of belonging he had yearned for. He found strength in the unity of the Muslim community. He was inspired by their unwavering faith. The Muslim community became his new family. They provided him with the love and support he needed. They helped him rebuild his life. They stood by him through thick and thin. They proved that true brotherhood transcends all differences. Martin's experience highlights the importance of community in Islam. It shows how faith can bring people together regardless of their background. It underscores the power of unity and compassion in overcoming adversity. Section 6. Abu Bakr, a beacon of hope and guidance. Within the Muslim community, Martin met Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr was a respected scholar and community leader. He became a mentor to Martin, guiding him in his journey of faith. He provided him with wisdom and counsel, becoming a source of strength and inspiration. Abu Bakr was a strong advocate for unity and education. He believed in the power of knowledge to dispel ignorance and encouraged Muslims to seek knowledge throughout their lives. He emphasized the importance of understanding Islam fully. He also stressed the importance of interfaith dialogue, believing in building bridges of understanding between different communities. He encouraged Muslims to engage with people of other faiths, respectfully, envisioning a world where people coexisted peacefully regardless of their beliefs. Abu Bakr's teachings had a profound impact on Martin. He learned the importance of standing up for justice and equality, realizing that true faith went hand in hand with social responsibility. He was inspired to make a difference in the world. Section 7. Standing Tall, the Courage to be Muslim. Martin, inspired by Abu Bakr, became a vocal advocate for Muslim rights. He spoke out against discrimination and prejudice, challenging stereotypes and misconceptions about Islam. He used his platform to educate others about his faith, encouraging Muslims to stand firm in their beliefs. He reminded them of the Prophet Muhammad's perseverance in the face of adversity, urging them to live their lives with courage and conviction. He stressed the importance of representing Islam in a positive light. He believed in the power of dialogue to foster understanding, participating in interfaith events and sharing his story with people from all walks of life. He broke down barriers and built bridges of communication. Martin's courage inspired many, becoming a symbol of resilience in the face of adversity. He showed the world that Islam is a religion of peace and compassion, proving that truth has the power to unite even in the face of division. Section 8. A Life Transformed, the Power of Truth. Martin's journey is a testament to the transformative power of truth. It shows how embracing one's true self can lead to a life of purpose and fulfillment. It highlights the importance of seeking knowledge and questioning our beliefs. His story is an inspiration to us all, teaching us to embrace diversity and challenge prejudice. It reminds us that true strength lies in standing up for what we believe in, even when it's difficult. Martin's life was a journey of faith, courage, and resilience. He faced rejection and hardship, yet he never wavered in his beliefs. He found solace in the Muslim community and dedicated his life to promoting understanding and tolerance. His story is a powerful reminder that truth knows no boundaries. It transcends cultural and social barriers, having the power to unite people from all walks of life. Section 9. A Legacy of Faith Inspiring Future Generations. Martin John Mu Popo's legacy lives on. His story continues to inspire people around the world. He showed us that true faith requires courage, conviction, and an unwavering pursuit of truth. He taught us that embracing our true selves can lead to a life of purpose and meaning. His journey from Archbishop to Muslim convert is a testament to the power of the human spirit to overcome adversity. He faced rejection, discrimination, and loss, yet he emerged stronger and more determined than ever. Martin's story reminds us that the pursuit of truth is a continuous journey. It requires us to question our beliefs, challenge our biases, and embrace new perspectives. It encourages us to approach the world with an open mind and a compassionate heart. His legacy will continue to inspire generations to come. His story will resonate with those seeking truth, yearning for belonging, and striving to make a difference in the world. Martin John Mu Popo's life was a testament to the transformative power